What's up, guys? This is Strings Productions here. Welcome back to another episode I have for you guys in store today. Now, the cab looks a little bit different, but for you, those of you who've been playing Train Simulator or Railworks since it pretty much came out, you should automatically know that we are operating the AEM-7 locomotive number 952 with service here to Boston, but due to the route's limitations, obviously we're going to Baltimore. For now, we're going to the hood. So wait for the doors to close here. Now, there is some sound modification that you will hear. Credits to Fanrailer on YouTube, and a couple of other sounds as well that you will hear. So, without further ado, let's begin. A legendary locomotive. These Swedish designs EMD locomotives have been Amtrak's pride and joy on the Northeast Corridor, with these locomotives arriving at speeds of 125 miles per hour, and they've pretty much been here for a long time, until recently in 2016, where the last AEM-7 was in service. May they rest in peace. But you can still find remains of the AEM-7s all over the place. I forgot to issue my alerter. There we go. We're running brake tests real fast. You definitely hear the sound mod, especially of the ampleets. Today we're operating a Northeast Regional, led by Amtrak number 952. As we just pass under, as we get ready to pass under J Bridge, which is the signal name, it's called J Bridge, or whatchamacallit, J Tower, and now we're getting ready to pass H Tower. So these cab signals are definitely ancient, because they're not giving you all the real track speed here. Because in these locomotives, you gotta know your route. Like clear doesn't even tell me what my track speed is. We just gotta know, especially since our last car just cleared the H Tower, or is about to clear H Tower, cleared J Tower. So now we're gonna go 20 miles an hour as we passed under C Tower. I love that cab signal alerter. And these are locomotives you could definitely beat up. Not that I know for a fact, but just I know a few engineers or two that definitely have spoken of some sort. Alright, here's Signal CP Avenue as we go from track 42 to track number 2. As we are now officially on the Northeast Corridor, heading north. There we go. Okay, we only need that. Just need these two. That's much better. As we're now passing Ivy City Amtrak facility and the yard itself, and we split off from the CSX Capital subdivision. right here at milepost 134. As we take the curve here at 95 miles per hour. So generally these cab, I guess it's just the route, but generally these cab signals here, the bottom number is your track speed and your top number is your signal speed. So I guess we don't have any track speeds at the moment, so we're just going to have to assume safely. So pretty sure we're at 125 now. Fix that. I will have a shit ton of train simulator videos posting here very, very soon, so definitely stay tuned as I explore some new locomotives, routes, etc. So. I definitely love that. It just screams beauty. Big shout out to Fan Railer for making these awesome modifications to these locomotives with sound mods, as well as the physics and the dynamics of it. I definitely always enjoy it, as well as thousands of his subscribers on YouTube. Please go like and subscribe to his channel. He's got so many awesome content. Again, thank you, Fan Railer, for making these awesome mods. If you're watching this, Fan Railer, I do have a few requests. If you can definitely hit me up, you know, maybe teach me something, or maybe help me out with this for a train simulator. But I'd love to definitely meet up and do all that. So if you're down for it, only. If not, I understand, you know. But I do have a few ideas, but maybe you consider them. Alright, so now we're aligned with the Washington Metro Rail on the orange line as we pass through Cheverly. And now we are now joining the CSX Landover subdivision as they begin to join in with us here at Landover. As now the CSX Landover subdivision becomes track 1 of the Amtrak Northeast Corridor. And for those of you who just not, or you know, just watched my video earlier, or who are about to watch the video, I was explaining all the different updates that Amtrak has made for the Northeast Corridor in real life in 2020. Right here is actually a high-speed crossover called Hanson. It is a high-speed crossover from track 2 to track 3, and then you could also now go on track 1, which is now fully electrified from Landover through New Carrollton to Carroll Interlocking. And so now trains can go around other stopped trains here in New Carrollton. So I assume at Carroll Interlocking they're going to redo the interlocking so that way trains that go around other trains who are stopped in New Carrollton can proceed through. Unless they make track 1 platformed, which I can also see them doing as well. But we'll just have to wait and see, yes. Definitely love how accurate the brakes are. I mean, like, you don't hit, like, you don't try to release the brakes just a little bit more, and then it just goes fully, like released or anything like that. And then you gotta build up your air, charge your air, do whatever. So we're going to put 1% grade so we can pretty much lay off the brakes a little bit. Because we're also giving out some dynamic brakes as well. Doors closed. Let's depart. Nice bright sun on the spring morning. It's like 9 in the morning. 9:30 is what to set the time to. I definitely miss the AEM-7s. I really do. Actually, believe it or not, that was the first ever locomotive I stepped foot on. Was a AEM-7. I believe that was number. I forgot the number that was. I think it was 946 I stepped foot on. I remember my cousin came from Connecticut. I was about 9, maybe 10. And I remember because I just got diabetes recently, type 1 diabetes, for those of you who personally know me. I'm a type 1 diabetic. Yeah, so we were at Washington Union Station, picked up my cousin, and you know, before the whole security thing became a huge topic, we can sit on the platform and just wait, and one of the guys is like, oh, there's going to be a huge crowd, it's probably not best to wait from there, and my cousin told him that, told the employee that I'm a big train guy, and, you know, it was just incredible. And then my cousin's train pulled up, and the guy took me up to the locomotive, and he sat me right in the engineer's seat. There's a picture somewhere, but it's on an old Nokia phone I had, which obviously I lost because I only have a fucking Nokia phone. But yeah, it was an awesome picture I had. I really desperately wish I still had it. I probably have it somewhere. If I can charge my phone and find it, and you know, maybe I can send it to myself or whatever. It's got to be around here somewhere. It was like a little Nokia flip phone I had. But I will never ever forget that moment. So yeah, that's what that just doubled, tripled, quadrupled my interest in trains, and just came from there. That was a real emotional day for me. Honestly, like I was so surprised, you know, that my blood sugar dropped so low. I was just shaking the entire time, and I was almost in tears because I just couldn't believe it. I mean, think about it, a 9-year-old, right? A 9, 10-year-old who, you know, never been that close to a locomotive, or never been in a locomotive, and just all of a sudden your dream just came true, and you knew that's what you wanted to do. So hopefully Norfolk Southern gets back to me soon. I'm still hired out over down Manassas as a conductor, and they did text me not too long ago, about a few weeks ago, asking if I was still interested. I said yes. So they said that they were going to have me go down to Atlanta for training sometime this month, hopefully, while I'm also hired for American Airlines. I'm sticking with American for now, and then once Norfolk Southern calls me, I'll go down to American. Or sorry, once Norfolk Southern calls me, I will go down to Norfolk Southern. But definitely sparked my interest. reason why I slowed down to 115 miles per hour is because we are a Type B train, which means we can only go 15 miles per hour on this curve right here. Looks like we're gaining up on a MARC train. How delightful. And then we'll have a few speed restrictions coming up here all along the way as well, and I'll point them out. I just think AEM-7s are so cool. Honestly, just the view. Excuse me, I'm trying to have a 2:30 a.m. snack. And one of my favorite parts of the Northeast Quarter, the split off. And now the next stop will be BWI Airport, so we're going to pass Odenton MARC Station, as we're already passing the maintenance facility for Odenton's Amtrak maintenance and way crew to the right. And then once we pass Odenton MARC Station, we'll be crossing over from track 2 to track 1. And then that was supposed to be a cab speed signal. Well, not. Well, we'll pretend like it is. And start slowing down. So I'll blind the other crew members. And so we will slow down to cab signal speed, which is 80 miles an hour for a cab speed. And the next signal will definitely be a cab speed, which is just a flashing green. Because on this type of crossover, you can do full 80 miles an hour, so it makes sense to have your signal slow you down to 80 miles an hour to get you ready. And this interlocking is called Grove coming up. Grove interlocking. There's Grove right here. See, we have a flashing green, which indicates cab speed. And of course, because of the signal, we won't pick it up. Alright, now we should be good for 110. Then we continue for 110 all the way until we get towards BWI. Then our curve becomes 90. Then we'll have a couple other curves as well. Technically, I would have been mowing trespasser. Haha! Good thing I'm not. I don't trespass. That's dangerous and stupid. Don't trespass on train tracks. The trains will always win. Always. You know I know? Because I watched someone get hit. I watched multiple people get hit by trains. Shit, I've been on 2 trains where we've hit somebody. It's a way of life. My condolences to all the crew members, and to the dispatchers, and to the first responders who have to put up with people's stupidity when it comes to stuff like this. You know. I shout out to the idiots who try to sue the freaking railroad because their loved ones got hit by a train because they weren't paying attention, or they don't know how to get out of their car when it stalled them to the tracks. I should know because my supervisor's car just got hit by a train about a month ago, because he didn't know that he wasn't supposed to run away from his car during an incident like that. He was in his car. Luckily, he was alright. He was at work. He's fine, but it was pretty stupid on his part. I told him, I said, you're supposed to get out. He said, oh, I thought you were supposed to stay in your car and wait for the impact. Like, no, you're supposed to jump out as fast as you can. I said, now if you're in a situation where you cannot get out of your car, then, you know, make sure you're all buckled up. You know, make sure you have a point of escapes, etc. Alright, so as soon as we pass the signal bridge right here, which this should be... Yep. We'll start slowing down to 90. This post right here, this is the end of the runway for BWI Airport. I believe that's runway 10. I think it's 10 left, 28 right, or something like that. I don't know, I've been in BWI in a long time. There's 90. So now when we take this curve, we'll be taking the curve at 90. So actually, because our station's coming up, we'll start slowing down here more. A southbound. Hello, ECS. We gotta reduce our brakes here a little bit so we can at least approach this platform. Welcome to BWI Airports. Actually, BWI is extremely naturistic. I definitely love this station, just because how open you are in nature, and just all the rail action as well. So we can get some full juice when we depart out here. How about that? Give some full power. now departing. Give you a little cab tour of the AEM-7. It's parking right here. That was pretty cutting. So that button. The window actually comes down too. Alright, so the next stop will be the final stop of Baltimore-Penn Station. We should be arriving on track number 6. We're coming up on Winans interlocking, which is just affects our track and track A, and that's where the MARC trains will go as they're going on track A, which is the slower speed track, goes through Halethorpe and West Baltimore as well. We're coming up on Winans right now, and the curve for the speed for this curve is 100 miles an hour. And this bridge right here is actually the CSX Baltimore Terminal subdivision. And that goes all the way in towards Baltimore, so that's where your CSX trains come from. The Cap sub, there's your Mark Camden line as well. And here's the Halethorpe, and we just passed Winans interlocking. Alright, so the next speed limit change will be, technically it's 110 right here, but the next huge curve, not this one, but the one coming up here shortly is 105 miles an hour. This will be the first curve south of milepost 101. And track 1 will be 105. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, then we'll be approaching what's known as the S-curve of Frederick Road, which that is 75 miles an hour, and then we'll go down to 70 miles per hour. And this bridge right here is US Route 1, or Wilkins Avenue. And then just to the right is my doctor's office. As a matter of fact, they did model it. I'm sure they put it somewhere over there. Alright, so right now we're at the first curve south of Frederick Road. We're at this is Frederick Road right here, by the way, the overbridge. So we're at the first curve south of Frederick. Now we're on the first curve north of Frederick, which this is 70 miles an hour. And then we'll resume back at, it wants to do 75. And then we'll continue down to 50 mile an hour as we come into the curve of West Baltimore, which will be 50 for us, and then we will do the crossover from track 1 to track 2 here at Bridge Interlocking, and then we shall proceed through the Baltimore B&P tunnel. So I don't know if they have fixed the signal aspects or not, but if not, I'll have to clone my own routes and fix it myself. This curve coming up here is 50 miles per hour, so I'll slow down to 50, and I'll slow down again to 30. This is West Baltimore. And this is the first curve south of Bridge, interlocking. And then you'll see West Baltimore Mark Station. There's West Baltimore. And we continue to slow down to 30 miles per hour. Definitely know how. I definitely love how the dynamic brakes take over as well. So when you add some regular train brakes, you're also feeding in your dynamic brakes as well to reverse the motor. Think of it as a Jake brake on your truck. Go ahead and turn on the bell. Ditch lights, I believe they are fixed. So the speed limit right here is 30 miles an hour, and then we go to 40 miles per hour for train type B's, and then train type A's, which are high-speed train sets that have tilt mechanisms activated. It's 45. It's 55 and then 45. So since we are type B, we're going to stay at 40, but since the tunnel's coming up, we're going to stay right at 30. And so we just passed that interlocking, which was Bridge, and now we're about to pass. Excuse me, this one called Fulton. And so we have an approach signal, which means we're about to proceed, prepared to stop at the next signal, whatever that next signal may be. And this is a Fulton interlocking, and now we're entering Baltimore's B&P tunnel. On track 2, coming into Baltimore, the hood, the ghetto. As a nice YouTuber I know says all the time, welcome back to the hood. That's a Mr. Bullfrog Productions. Like and subscribe to him as well. I love Bullfrog, especially on his Honda Odysseys. I definitely enjoy them. It's like a little nature documentary almost. So I know the signal is coming up right here. There's the curve of the tunnel, and so that signal is coming up right here, and we're probably going to have to stop and then proceed to clear through. Now this is an automatic block signal, so technically this is not a stop signal. This is a stop and proceed, and I'll explain to you a stop and proceed in a second. As soon as we find the signal. There's the end of the tunnel, so the signal is right here at the end of the tunnel. And no matter what scenario it is, I always get that. Like Fulton's approach, and then this one is always a stop and proceed, even though there's like no trains that are coming whatsoever. So there's an automatic block signal. We can tell because it's got a number plate. So, this is not a stop signal, this is a stop and proceed. So now I'm going to hit my tab button, see if we can proceed through the signal. We can proceed. Request to pass signal at danger approved. So let's go. So now we're going to proceed through, but we're going to have to go at restricting speeds, which is 20 miles per hour. We watch our cab signals change, and so we'll have to watch for anything that may be fouling the track or just anything like that. As well, we'll be at restricting speed. And we'll also have to stop at the next signal as well, especially if it is red. And we'll request to pass through there. Hopefully we'll get a positive aspect, because that is a control point interlocking. We tell them we're doing a good job. So we will proceed we will proceed through the rest of the Baltimore-Potomac tunnel as we continue through. And the bell will stay on the entire time we're in the Baltimore and Potomac tunnel. And this is where the old Baltimore and Potomac Railroad used to pass through. Otherwise known as Baltimore and Potomac. Let's use our eyes to see. Oh, and speaking of eyes, there's a Northbound. So now, when we stop at the next signal, we should be able to get a more appropriate signal aspect. Definitely is unique. Take a screenshot of that. That's pretty cool. It's like looking for the Megalodon. You know, the extremely huge great white shark that's supposed to be extinct. Apparently it's not extinct. Who just radio dispatch on my frequency? Alright, here comes the end of the Baltimore BMP tunnel. And so we'll go ahead and proceed, prepared to stop at the signal coming up right here. It is in fact a stop signal, so we will have to stop this time. So now we will have to request to pass through. So on a stop or proceed, you don't have to really request to go past the signal unless dispatch tells you to stop. So, but we did anyways. Otherwise, we can't. Otherwise, the train simulator doesn't work that way. So, this is not a automatic block signal. There's no signage. There's no milepost at all. So it's just a signal. So we're going to hit tab, proceed through. And so now we have an approve and we have a approach signal. So let's go. So our capsules activate to 30, and this is actually called Charles interlocking. We will notice that we have our change. And so the next stop signal will be at Paul interlocking. So you have Charles and you have Paul. So this is Charles. We're now entering Baltimore's Penn Station. Track 6. Then the next interlocking, which we will not go through, is Paul. So me and Paul need to talk to my friend Paul. I haven't talked to him in a very long time. And Paul interlocking is actually right up there at the next signal. And that is it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed riding along in a historic locomotive, one of Amtrak's finest toasters in all of the world, and all of its ovens as well, the Amtrak EMD AEM-7, the Swedish designed electric locomotive. And we have reached the end of this quick drive scenario. I definitely love the way Dovetail made their quick drive scenario, especially with this route. And I love the detail they put in this route as well, all the detailed effort and work, and all the labor that was put into it. And I thank you guys very much. And thank you everybody for watching. Thank you all my Amtrak engineer buddies for teaching me the way of the railroad Mandalorian ways as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have more videos coming soon, but it's about 3 in the morning, and I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so this will probably be my last video to make of the night. Thank you guys so much for watching the Strange Productions. We are out of here. Sorry my microphone sucks ass. It just sucks ass. Thank you for your patience.